without much ado, I would like to invite our Executive Director, Mr. Felix Malombe. He is a MIE Fellow and with a great knowledge about programming and coding and teaching. So help me welcome Mr. Felix Malombe. Welcome very much.
Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everyone, for 2021 program, dubbed the Code Week. It's my pleasure to be part of this amazing team, brought together and nurture the next generation of innovators. Confirm, please, you can hear me?
Much better.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Better.
It's said that it's always a great opportunity for us to connect once again at in these forums or in fora where we discuss majority of the concerns that in the 21st century and in the 21st century workforce, not just in the classroom, that we keep talking about. It's always my pleasure to work with teachers because I believe these are the street bureaucrats, as they say. That statement was put across by Mr. Juan, who is the PS in education, one of the areas in education. Previously, he worked for the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, and he told me once that the teachers are the street bureaucrats. You can set up policies, you can set up programs, you can set up a new curriculum also. But at the end of the day, the people who are really going to make a difference and make things happen are the people who are at the ground, like they say nowadays. So I want to take this opportunity to appreciate each and every one of you, from Lawrence Kiminja, our Managing Director, to program leads, Daisy and James, and the teachers who are joining us for the meeting tonight. To just have a discussion around what it is that we need to develop our students' capacity in. In my estimation, is that all the teachers who are teaching primary school from grade 4 going up should be able to get these skills that we are talking about. And it's my hope that the people that we train, the people that we work with in our communities, in our programs, will be of impact in the community that they serve, that they can actually share that knowledge freely, or even where possible at a fee, and they will be able to communicate and support the community that God has placed us in. Whether you're working in the central region as a teacher, or through the localization by the TSC, or you come from a region that is outside, central Kenya, it is always an opportunity to learn. And maybe this is the opportunity for you to see how you can influence what is happening in your community, and as we continue becoming the tech hub in Kenya, in Africa. Kenya remains at the forefront in guiding various organizations on what should be happening. So I want to also start by talking shortly about what we're calling the Africa Code Week. Africa Code Week. Africa Code Week is a program that is supported and guided by an organization called SAP. If I take you straight to the link where Africa Code Week as an organization is set, we have what we call the African continent being challenged to come up with programs that are going to prepare our children for the next challenges that we're going to be facing. So the African continent is receiving support from the Irish government. It's also receiving support generally as a continent from what we call the SAP organization, which is based in various countries around the world. And SAP is an institution that supports organizations with softwares like HR manual. So if the TSC would want to work with a certain HR manual, which checks the medical records of their employees, SAP would be the best place to be. It's one among the best or the powerful tools that are used in organizations, whether it is HR, medical, billing, and other things. And so SAP realized that there is a need to impact the skills that the other regions of the world are experiencing in African continent. In Kenya, we were privileged, or we got the opportunity to be able to, participate in this specific area by getting some ambassadors from our country. The one that I have worked very closely with is Celestine Ukperea Consulting, and currently in the last 3 years, since 2018, I've worked back to back with Akwari Techno Girls, and we, STEAMLabs Africa, have been always supporting this initiative because we believe that every child in Africa deserves an opportunity to participate in the digital revolution. It is estimated that by the year 2040, the only continent whose population will increase, and this time round double, its African continent. Number two, we also know that there is a digital revolution that is happening around the world. Children in China, in Canada, children in Singapore, at the age of year 4, in grade 4, that is around 9, 10, 11 years, they are able to come up with mobile applications. They are able to come up with simple apps. They are able to come up with simple tools using the STEAM education, which is bringing together all subjects, but then promoting creativity. Yet in Africa, what we are doing in grade 4 is we're still struggling with literacy and numerous skills. And we have had that because of, from the research by Wezo, who have been doing a lot of research in our continent, in our country. By the way, I'm doing all that so that I can place a basis of what we are saying, so that when we talk about Africa Code Week, you'll be able to understand why we are doing what we are doing. I always believe that is very crucial. So then, to lift the standards of our children in Africa, and specifically in Kenya, to also raise the standards of our children that are growing in the African continent, then there is a call and a request, to see to it that our children are trained, with these skills that are going to put them at the global stage, being able to compete with their peers around the continent and also around the world, but also to look at the opportunity that is set before us by 2040, which is now like 19 years, to ensure the children that are in class today will be able to not just become people who are going to be involved in civil unrest, crime, concerns that have always bedeviled the African continent, but they will be able to participate in such an environment that is, prompt, and that which is powerful as we raise, as we try to make our economies grow. President Kenyatta sat down and came up with the 4 big agenda. He set out a clear agenda of what needs to be done in the last 5 years. Of course, there has been BBI and other things, we know of that, and many other things that we keep talking about. But the agenda is not to be achieved in the 5 years, like some of the people or politicians try to allude. It is an agenda that needs to be realized. Healthcare, unemployment or jobs, things to do with housing and manufacturing and jobs. But if you look at all that what President put across, you realize he needed to put education not as a supporting partner or a supporting, platform, but as one of the key areas that we need to look into. Because according to the book called The Miseducation of the Negro, we are told that education does not motivate voters. But then if you educate the people, then you do not need to even go through cycles of elections. All you need to do is ensure that, the community that you have empowered, the one that you've taught, will be able to make good decisions on balanced diet, good decisions on supporting their communities. And as educators, we know all that is true. So then what must we do to place ourselves in the global map, to place ourselves in the place that we ought to be? Then we have to think about skills that matter. And one, according to the World Economic Forum, one of the skills that matter are the technology skills. It is said that Africa got the ability, got the story of technology, but they did not know what to do with it. So all we do when you go to the internet is post on Facebook, post on specific other tools that we know of, but we do not really use those technology for the well-being of our community. So what then must we do? we must now start revamping our technology, not technology, but rather our learning institutions, supporting them, and that is why STEAMLabs was established, to support the government initiatives, to enhance what has already been, established, and also to, to be there to support educators with digital skills, not just digital, but even sustainability in our communities, whether it is environment, economic, among other things. So in this course, which we are calling Learning to Code Using Scratch, supported by Africa Code Week, we are going to take you through a series of slides that are going to give you access to some material that you can use with your children in schools, that you're going to also utilize for, for training of children, not just in clubs like Mr. James mentioned, but in mathematics, in English, in science and technology, in music, art and craft, whether it is in high school, in biology, in physics, computer studies as such. All this is not a call for computer teachers. This is a call for all teachers who have an interest in the future of their children. Now, some people ask me, but Mr. Felix, what is it that are you going to give us a per diem for this? I say, yeah, if that's what you're thinking, that's all you're going to come out with. But then the most important thing, educators and fellow colleagues, as a teacher, is to always find something that is going to make a difference in the child that you serve, or the children that are placed in your hands. So without much ado, allow me now to share my screen and take you through our course that we've called Learning to Code with Scratch. And then I would ask a few questions which are interactive so that I can stop talking. I can talk a lot. Mr. Dixon will tell you that. So we're going to have a discussion about a few things. And then from there, I'm going to take you straight to Introduction to Scratch. And from there, we will continue. Give me only 40 minutes and I will be done with this. Then I will have given you access to everything else that you need. At the end of the session, I'll also tell you, like Mr. James mentioned, what we are required to do so that we can actually be able to show evidence of what we've done as we receive the support that we are going to be receiving. Thank you. At this time, is there anyone with a question? Caroline, do you have a question? Editor Jagi, my friend, is there any question at this stage?
Felix.
Yes.
I have arrived late. I'm catching up as we continue.
Awesome. Okay. Africa Code Week 2021. This is a call to prepare the children of Africa to develop digital skills. During the course of the time, we have trained teachers from across the continent, of course, specifically in Kenya, preparing them for an uncertain future with skills that will matter. Now, if you go to the website about Africa Code Week, you'll see all the information that is being shared there. In 2019 alone, there were many teachers who are trained, 39,000 teachers who are mobilized and trained. They also are interested in raising the girl child. So I'm grateful that, editor, you are here, among other teachers, people like Cecilia, who are engaged and you are going to work with girls and also encourage girls who are in that challenge. Who need to develop. There are 37 countries that participate. We are still looking at how to, support more. In the month of May, we did something called Africa Code Challenge. And what happened is children around the country were called to participate in this. Maybe you did not know. Now I'll be telling you about this now because you are in our team. Number two, the trainer of trainees is what we are doing now. Started in this July month, but then there were delays. So we were only able to start it in October. We are hoping after training you on 18th today, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, up to November 15th, you will have completed the training of your children. So I will show you some slides. I'll give you direction. I'll give you the slides themselves. And then you go to your classes and you're going to train your children and, list what you've been able to do. From there, you will be able now to, get your certificates. You're going to get your, awards. And in case your children have come up with amazing projects, which I'm going to tell you how to share on. And then finally, the Africa Code Challenge, which started in May, and the Africa Code Week, which happens in October, are going to be celebrated after we list, our performance as a country, as STEAMLabs, as Central Region, and we are going to be awarded or supported based on that on the December 4th, when the closing ceremony will happen. And so the year of 2021 will be closed. After that, we will get more stuff. Like I mentioned, it's supported by Irish Aid, Camden Trust, Youth Mobile, UNESCO, among other partners, as you would see from the website. Now let's go straight to the activity of the day today. And with me are some slides that I've been working on, which are put on a Microsoft Teams account, which we have which we have called the Africa Code Week. We will be sharing a link to this. Mr. James, our PD person, is going to be sharing. Okay, I think I need to share. Yeah, we'll be sharing about all this, and we're going to give you access to these slides. But first, how many slides are there? We are told there are, let me check. I made this, but I sometimes get lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 slides that you can take your children through, but you don't have to take all of them. I'll just give you where you need to start. First, let's look at introduction to coding. Now, let me now get back to the audience, and you guys tell me, what do you understand by the word code? Code. Going to start with code. What is code? Jace Maina is joining. Thank you, Jace. Mr. Joel, what is code to you? Someone is raising their hand as well.
Okay, Felix. Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Hello?
you're audible.
Yes, you are.
Joel, are you there?
My network is just special characters put together to communicate. Special characters.
Okay. Special characters put together to communicate. Awesome. Thank you. By the way, I don't know who is admitting people. James, you need to look into that.
I am.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So, my friend there is talking about, special characters put together to do some communication. Can we have a lady also speaking about what code is? Sarah or Sarah? Oh, Zioka James want to speak. Sarah, do you want to go first? Then we come to James. All right, James.
A set of computer instructions.
Set of computer instructions. Thank you very much. Code, giving computer instructions. Let's see what the slide says. So we're introducing code, and we are saying initially the world, we know the world is physical, so we see one another, other things. And over years, scientists have tried to come up with ways in which you can, develop a virtual world. And now we are used to virtual worlds as if it's a normal thing, but it's someone who has been able to, bring this to where we are. So in our discussion today, we're looking at, introduction to code, which is the way in which you develop, a virtual world. You develop, this is a specific form. When you talk about computers, this is a virtual, a virtual world that you can see. All right, so I was saying that when we're introducing code to children, you want to talk about what it is first before you can before you can actually take them through the real code. So code is just what Mr. Nzioka said and Mr. My friend from course said. It's about giving instruction to an activity or giving instructions to a character to do certain things. Think about a dish that you know how to prepare, like food, a meal. What are the difference between following a recipe on when you know how to cook and following the recipe when you don't know how to cook will be clear. There will be a clear difference. If you know how to prepare mokimo, I'm talking in Central today, or you've been localized, you know how to prepare muthokoi, or you omena, you know, I don't know how to prepare omena even up to date. You know, it depends on if you know, you have to keep looking at the recipe if you know how to, if you don't know how to do it. But if you know how to do it, you have to do it automatically without having to be asked of anything. Think about another activity you like to do where you need to follow certain instructions. What are the consequences if you do not follow? That is where we introduce words like bugs and debugging. That is in the process of coding. Think about the instructions a programmer might need to give to a computer, like Mr. Nzioka said, to get it to perform a simple task, like taking a screenshot, printing, downloading a song, and such like things. That is where how code happens. Now, computers speak in various languages. And there is a video here we would want to watch, but you can watch with your students. I'll be giving you all this. When you think of code, we think of computers. But code is actually in all kinds of devices, whether it is a microwave, whether it is a TV, whether it is a remote control, all that is controlled by code. They depend on code to function. Where is code normally? Most of the times, code is practically in everything that you see today, especially in the digital world that we live in, what we call the Internet of Things. Sometimes even batteries are contained or controlled by code. Take a look at where you are right now, your house, and all the devices that you might have that might be using code. I'm very sure you'll see, you know, a teddy bear. I'm kidding. A teddy bear is not coded. A chair, no, a chair is not coded. But some chairs can actually fold themselves based on the code that has been provided. You can give children this activity, which is going to be done at home, where they can actually go through this handout, which actually looks at what exactly they do at home and how they can actually use it to, you know, to analyze and find how code is used in their communities, in their houses. Then code. What is code? Coding is used mostly to solve a problem, just like we say in science. I don't know, there is a way we say in science that things are machine is anything that is used to make work easier. So that is where code is also. Code is supposed to be able to support us, you know, to solve some certain problems. If someone could not, you know, move around with a wheelchair because their hands have a problem and their legs are challenged, how can code be used? So you give them something that they can code and then they are able to move. And that is how disability is attended to. If you wanted to call someone and they are in US and you are in Kenya and you don't have you have a phone. Okay, you have a phone because that's code. Wait, I'm saying if you didn't have a way to communicate to someone, like now editor, and I wanted to do a lesson like this, code must support me to do that. So all these are ways of trying to solve problems. There are various activities that you can give children as a way to, you know, play around, to code, because code is in the mind. So these are maze that you give them. They are able to play around with it as they develop their mind around coding, because it's just giving instructions. Normally, we use arrows when you're starting to code. Don't just go to Scratch directly. You give them activities like this one. Of course, I'm going to give you which you can print. And then you give them activities where they're actually going to give instructions to the arrows, and the arrows will follow certain direction. It's one of the big things called directional language and logical reasoning. As they do this, they actually start thinking about ping pong, which are games that they like to do. Now, I'm taking you through this because once I get you to do this, then you will actually be able to understand why we're going through Scratch. So this is how you introduce coding to children. It could be just a discussion that you're having over lunchtime when they eat lunch. Then when they come to class, now you show them the Scratch. So these are various worksheets that we put together for you to be able to use. That is slide 1. That is the first day you introduce code. Now, I want to take us straight to now from that environment of understanding what coding is all about to the discussion on Scratch. And I want to talk about Scratch and where it originated from. We are told a few years ago, Scratch was developed by an organization called Lifelong Kindergarten in Massachusetts University of Technology, or Institute of Technology. It's not a university. So they came up with this platform called Scratch, which when we use, and you know, you can actually train children to use blocks to code. So they used what they call block coding. And for me, what I normally do is Scratch. So Scratch was formed by an organization called Lifelong Kindergarten, like I've mentioned. And the intention was to train young people to program computers, to give instructions to computers. Yeah, so they introduce children to programming in the hope that they will be able to learn how to, you know, program computers at an early age. Their intention was to do something called computational thinking. When I looked at the standard 4 or grade 4 CBC curriculum, and I saw something to do with coding, the discussion was introducing coding before Scratch in grade 5. But when you look at it from various books, from Planet, I don't know, Planet publishers, and Longhorn and others, the discussion is not fully, you know, brought to clearly. And I'm one person who advocates for computer science as a subject from grade 1. So we'll be looking into that as we grow. But what I want you guys to do right now is do this activity and then tell me what you think about it, because this is where Scratch actually starts. So if you can access the chat, I'm trying to get the chat, you can go or you can go to this site called Blockly Games. I'm trying to share the link. You can go to Blockly Games. Blockly Games. It's a very simple platform that you can go to, Blockly Games. And you can give that to your children and tell them to do an activity. Just want to go back to it. It starts with a puzzle, just like I talked about. And what happens is that the children or the students, even if you don't have a computer, I mean like computers in your school, and luckily you have a projector, because I would hope that at least it could be something like that, or you have your computer. You can give children this activity called Blockly Games. And what they are going to do, they are going to code, you know. Check this out. I have a bee here, I have a duck, I have a snail, and I have a cat. Okay, if it's not a snail, it's a snail. We normally ask them questions like this. One, this is coding now, introducing coding. You're giving instructions. Which one is a snail? So I'm going to give it a snail. I'm going to say there. How many legs does it have? I think it has many legs. I'm going to choose how many it has. And then what are the traits of that snail? All right. Please try this. Don't watch me as I do this. I'm going to say the snail has 0 legs. And what traits? It has sliming. What else does it have? I'm looking at the characteristics. It's called pattern recognition. You look at pattern in computational thinking. Does it have feathers? Does it have a stinger? Which one? So I'm going to pick others. Honey, I think it's for B. I'm going to put B, honey, the stinger. The feathers it's a duck. Beak is for a duck. How do I put it? And how many legs does it have? 2. It's a this B. I put you here B. Okay, they are stuck together. So you give them an activity like this one in the hope that they will actually understand what coding is all about. They will not think so from abstract. Their target will be to, you know, relate with what it is. that they know, you know, like we say, unknown to unknown. That's how we say it, you know, from known to unknown. Once they have completed this activity, they are supposed to check the answers to see if everything is okay. If it is not okay, it has a bug, so they need to debug. They have to correct where there is an error. So they check. If it is okay, tells you it's okay. If it's not, it will tell you 2 blocks are messed up. Whiskers and fur. Oh, it doesn't have legs, so I need to check legs. The cat has 6 legs, for example. It has 4 legs, the bee, you know. And if I try to check, says 2 are wrong. Again, the cat has 2 legs, 4 legs. So the kids can actually discuss on this. And the bee has 6 legs as an insect. If I do that, it will tell me all the 6 are, you know, in the right place. This is how you start the children, and as they get those smiles on their faces, you tell them, we are not stuck at that. Let's move to the maze. So you move them to the maze. Maze has 10 stages, and what you're trying to do here, you're directing a small kamunyama, a mammal here, a small guy, to move from this point to this point. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say, all I need to do is move forward. I carry this, and I tell it to move forward. And then I tag run. Now, you're trying to tell children there is something called run in coding, you know. From the slide that I showed you to this block games, by the block games is the slide number 2. Just know that I know this thing so well. So now, if you click run the program, and they will do the same when it comes to JavaScript, because there are other programming languages like Java, like Python and others. They will be able to run the code just like they have done for these blocks. So you're telling it to move forward. Move forward, move forward. It will move 2 steps, forward and forward. It's not working. Something might be wrong. So it means I need to reset my code. Let me reset. Okay, I don't know what to do. I think my computer is hanging. Let me try to refresh the page. Are you guys trying something? Anybody trying with me? Please don't watch me. This is a very practical class. Mr. Nzioka, you are the most active student today for me.
I'm using my phone, but let me switch on my laptop.
Even the phone can try. Just try it. Just try, because it's so much practical. You want to engage on this. So if I run again, there you go. The guy arrived. And then there is some block of code which is written now in English. The move forward. There's something called camel case in programming, but I don't want to go to that. Daisy will laugh at me if I do that. But let's look at the next step. You know, the children start getting, you know, challenges. And, you know, one of the things that motivates young people is the challenge. If you place it there for them, then they will try to catch up with you. So they say, move forward, then turn left, then move forward. I don't know. If I do that, it will go up. Oh, my goodie. So there is something wrong there. So I'm going to again say move forward. Oh, turn left, then turn right, then move forward, the last one. It tells you what to do. Move forward, up, turn right, move forward. Yes, and I got it. So you can keep going. This is JavaScript programming. Then you do something called repeating. Now in programming, and as you go through the slide, you'll see something called loops. So it actually says you can repeat. Instead of putting so many blocks saying move forward, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can just say move until you find this icon of location. Then you put repeat until. This is called looping. You're taking us through that on Scratch. And the kids are able to do that. Let me stop at that, because this is exciting, and you can keep doing this until you age. You can keep doing this until, you know, the children, they can't even finish the lesson. No, we stop at that. You stop that one. And now you go to Scratch. And I was saying, to introduce Scratch, we always go to slide lesson number 2.1. And what project you're going to do today with Scratch which I'm going to show you, is more of, you know, coming up with projects that children actually now make their own characters, not just that small guy who is moving there, the small Kamunyama there we have seen. So in Scratch, it becomes fun. Why? Because the children have opportunity to create their own characters. They have an opportunity to make their own sprites. They call them sprites. And in Scratch also, we have Swahili language, which is also, you know, one of the trainings, one of the things that we've actually been able to do, supported by the organizations in Kenya. So we were able to translate Scratch to Swahili. Yeah, so Scratch, what is this Scratch? Again, I want to share with you the link. You can go to Scratch. Some of you might have gone. Some of you might not have gone to Scratch. Let's see if you have gone. What do I mean when I say gone? But let me try. So you place again Scratch, mit.edu. Of course, there are some other details there because I've already clicked on it. You go to scratch.mit.edu, and when you click that link, scratch.mit.edu, it gives you the platform upon which you will now direct your children. Two things to say about Scratch at this stage is that Scratch can be also offline. So if you don't have internet in your school, chill, you are cool, you are good to go. All you need to do is download the Scratch, and I'll be providing these resources on that team that I've talked about, or on our WhatsApp group. You know, you will be, you know, downloading Scratch and installing it in your specific computer. I would encourage you guys, once you come to the scratch.mit, let me just copy this again and paste it. Copy, Control C, and paste it. Is someone raising their hand? Okay, by the way, you could be taking photos if you want and releasing them on social media. We do that a lot. Remember to tag STEAMLabs Africa and Africa Code Week. At MIE Kenya, what we have done is we've been training teachers on various things, including up and running with Scratch, up and running with Twitter, up and running with LinkedIn and such things. I told you it's very important to use social media to continue building your brand. Susan, before I continue, this is up to you. You can speak to me. Hi, Susan Kariuki.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
I'm happy to learn the code.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm left behind, but I will catch up with you.
Tell me about
How
this.
are we registering? How are we registering? Or just get to attend the meeting?
Mr. Lawrence, please, if you can help my friend with a registration link also, so that she can be part of the registration, so that she can actually be able to follow up, and she can also join the WhatsApp group. Mr. James, you can also share the link on the chat for the WhatsApp group, so that teachers can actually be part of that big community that we are supporting together. Okay, so Sue, just stay with me. Everything will be okay. So now I've gone to scratch.mit.edu. I said you can download this platform on your computer and then show the children on the computer, on a projector, or even on your phone. Some phones support Scratch. If you have a projector, the better. If you are in school and your school has some tablets, the ones that the government gave us, again, you can also, you know, pick up and, you know, train your students. All you need to do, you don't need to teach something very complicated, by the way. Like I've said, I'm going to be sharing all these slides that I've talked about. And what you need to do is just work with the children during one of the experiences. It can become your anecdote. I always use anecdote. What's anecdote? Anecdote is that thing, one thing that I start with in my lesson. Then I tell them, guys, do you know there is something called SDGs? They ask me, what is that? Or I tell them, oh, you can actually do coding with me. Do you know something called Scratch? Someone will say, oh yeah, I know that. Others will say, I've never heard about that. You speaking in Kikuyu? I don't know how to speak in Kikuyu. I try a little bit, but I'm not so good. Okay, so then let's look at this. So you can create stories, games, animations, You can actually make games, and you know, high school students are into games a lot, especially if they are not in Form 4 before they come to Form 4. If you are dealing with the girls, only when they are up to Form 2. So we have to capture the girls before they are in Form 3, because they also get busy and other things to think about. So you need to ensure that by the time they are in Form 2, they are already experiencing all this. Once you capture a girl at that age, you can be sure that she will remain in this tech space. So for the primary school, you start in kindergarten, my friend. I've already started. Let's do this as early as possible so that we prepare our children by 2040. So let's create a story with this platform. But before that, let me take us through the slide. I prefer to do that so that when you're using it in the classroom, it will not be something new. So on slide 2.1, you are introduced to intro to the Scratch environment. So when you go to Scratch, the first thing it does, it gives you an opportunity to create, explore ideas and other things. All you need to do is start creating, or you can watch this video here. And when you start creating, it comes up with a video, which is a small tutorial if you are online. And then it is on that video that we have slide number 4. It gets you started. So we say Blockly was a great place to start with, like I've talked to you. But now it's time to meet Scratch, which is a block-based coding language that makes you create all kinds of amazing stuff. All right. Then you can now show the children, like I'm just doing. I do that interchangeably. They actually come to understand what Scratch is. They can join with their own accounts. They can create their own accounts, and they can also, you know, use this platform to, you know, to just go create without having to create an account. The home screen looks like this. You must have seen mine. The home screen, I mean the default screen that you find when you open. But then at the top, there is a place where it says create. You need to click create. And then there is the place for exploration, another one for ideas. You can do activities, coding cards, starter projects, etc, etc. And then there is something called featured studios. Let's go to that and see what I'm saying. So I was here. Okay, here we have said there is create, explore, ideas, and about. And you can just look at featured projects, featured studios. There is something called remixing, where you can actually make other people's games, work on other people's games. And as you scroll down, you'll find what people have been able to make. Oh my goodness. You give children this computer, they will stick there the whole day. But then you need to tell them it's not just consuming and using other people's games. What can you make? The reason why we are here. Africans cannot going to continue becoming consumers. Even in Kenya, we have Mobis, which is a new car. Kenya. Wait, Mr. Lawrence, is that Mobis or Mobius?
It's Mobius.
So Kenyans have been able to make the first car, which is 4 million only. I think if we come together, we can buy one of us a car. Maybe we can buy Miss Sarah's Kirui a car, La Mobius, just to leave our old car and the car she bought recently, and now use Mobius. More importantly is what I'm talking about, using the code to create, not to come and play other kids' games. Let's look at an example of a game the kids can come and play. Let's see, the girls in class 4, this is what they like. They'll come to this game and they will read the instructions. It says, click the green flag to start. It's loading. They can click on the game and they can play, but also they can create their own game and share it on the Scratch studios and projects. And then the other people can play their games and they can get likes. Can you see down there? There are some likes. You know, if you click the green flag, you see, welcome to outer space. Let's get explore. We are on Earth's only moon. Some people think it's formed when the Mars-sized planet, you know, okay, that discussion. So a child has come up with this game, and the child is called LG Mammoth. At the top here, the account is there. But what you want to do for your children, because it's the first time or the second time or the third time, is to ensure that they are able to even come up with a small game like this. How is this happening? You can click on see inside. If you click around, you'll be able to see all these things. So this is the code that is making that girl to move around. You know, your children can actually make this and we are going to see how to make one in a moment. So there you go, and you can actually get the students to make something like this. Wait, I'm messing up someone's project. I don't want to mess it up. It's called remixing. Okay, trying to remix this project, and the children has just written so many things there and all that. Now let's try to come up with something. So what we are told in our project, you come to create, and then once you click create, it opens this platform. All you need to do is click play. Okay, video starting. I don't know.
Scratch. You can make your own story, games, and animations. Let's start by grabbing a move block. We can click the block to run it. There are many other blocks to choose from. Check out the different categories. Let's go to the sound and grab a sound until done block. I'll snap this onto a move block. When do we want these code blocks to run? Add an event block on top to start the code. I'll add the when green flag clicked block. You can easily reorder these blocks at any time. Add as many characters as you want to your project. One. Check out tutorials, ideas, and inspiration.
If you are using your phone, you can watch that video. If you are using your tablet, you can use that video. It will guide you to more tutorials. But without much tutorials, let's do something together, guys. First, this side has unique colors from blue. By the way, if I mess up, I went for men's conference and we were blamed. No one could tell what the color of the food that we wanted to eat. So, you know, these colors, I just know blue because that's my favorite color. The others, I don't know. This one, maybe this is ODM, this is Jubilee, this is Mangua. What is this? The guy from Moses Korea's party? This one, I don't know. You know, I just know colors based on the political rallies that I see every day. And I don't want to spend my time, by the way. News are coming at 9 for those people who like politics. You know, these colors are uniquely there because the young people will relate with colors. So if you want to do something that has to do with looks, how a character will look like or will say, then you go to this purple color. If you want to go to a color like green and do some math, you can do that. And it doesn't have to be math, but it's just the language. Then if you want to move around, motion. You go to move. And the character will be able to move. I don't know why mine is not moving. Oh, it's moving actually. So if I click move, it's moving. See? So you can actually do that. So you drag this place where I am placing moved and state is called the workspace. Where we are having the blocks, it's called the blocks palette. And then there is something called costumes next to the code. Costumes. These are like clothes. Oh, these are like when you're doing animation, cartoons. You know, there is this cartoon which looks like this. There is another one which looks like this. Look at cartoon number 1 for the cat. This is the first one. Second one is like this. It's running. This one is walking. This one is running. But John Walker said it's always walking. You can actually get the children to play around with their character. So, for example, you can click the head and you can pour some paint. Where is the jug? Let's look for the jug, guys. This one is a bucket. If I pour sunny color on this guy, look at what's happening. Do you know what the kids will do when they have this? They will be looking for the opportunity there to make the eyes so big. Look at the eyes. We're going to make the eyes different. We're going to make the head so big. Head. And move it there. And then they will be laughing the whole moment when they are doing this. This is the moment when you take a photo because the children are very happy. They are eating something. They can even call it kamosongo. Okay, in Kikuyu, we don't have kamosongo. But we're going to say kamotogo. Kamotogo. And then that's what they call it. And then here, we can even make this card turn the other side. You click flip horizontal. and then it's facing the other side. So you can play around with that. It's called playing with costumes. But if you wanted to play sounds, that is the normal cat sound. But there are other sounds down here. If you move around here and click such sounds, you'll find even there is a owl's sound. Let's see animals. You click animals, and then you see owl. Wait, owl. What is owl? It's called owl. That's what my teacher of English taught me. It's not a good one because it's a bad omen. That's not one. That's one. That is the owl. Maybe we don't like those bad sounds. We like the ones of the cow. My name is Malombe, so I allude a lot to the cows. So cow, large cow. That's cowbell, not cow. That means cow. That's cowbell, the one from Maasai. Cows. Cow. Yes, that's my language with Malombe, my Malombes. Okay, so you can actually give the children an opportunity to do that. But how do you add not a cat and add others like, let's find what is there. So did you see where it went? There is this small cat with two heads here. Not two heads, two big ears like that of a bunny. So you click on that and then you add a character. Now in Kenya, there used to be a girl who went to work for Scratch in US. It's in Boston. I hear them calling it Boston in New York. So she went there and she was one of the people that became a character. So she's here. She's called Marian. Marian is from Coast. Marian, if I can even type Marian. Marian, there you go. This is Marian. You can actually add a character called Marian. This is a Kenyan girl from Mekatiwa Men's community. And children can actually code her to do certain things. For example, let's look at her costumes. She has several costumes. One, she's holding a cup. Another one, she's doing that. Another one, she's doing that. You can code her to change that. So how do you do that? We'll be looking at such things. We can tell Marian to do something and do that. So we can tell her, go random, then go to looks, costume, change costume, switch costume to Marian E. Then again, you tell her, move 10 steps, Marian, funny, Marian. And then you go back to that, you say switch costume. Costume is what she's doing. So we're going to B. So if I click the block, by the way, normally, see, she's moving around, but she's switching to only one character. So we need to change her to move to others. So we say, we normally go to events. By the way, just play with these ones. Suppose I'll give you the one. I go to event and I say, when the green flag is clicked, the green flag here, Marian should move around. Go to random positions. But she's not changing her movement. Let's see if she does this. See? Then we can do, after that, she can switch again. Maybe we can say, then she turns this and switches to costume to Marian D. Let's see. See? She's moving around. We can even tell her, we want to control you by telling you to repeat the first one 10 times. And forever, we want you to continue doing this. Let's see. Oh, I know why. Oh, there you go. She is changing. We can delay her. We can tell her, wait for a minute before you change. Yeah. We can delay her to move around. Okay. She's trying to do things. She's not ordered, but we are giving instructions. Let the children explore all this. If you want to see what's happening, check here, the character here. And the cat. When she hits the cat, we tell her, if, go to controlling her, you tell her, if Marian, moving 10 steps, oh, this is the cat. If the cat senses, if it touches Marian, I went to sensing, 5 senses. I'm trying to get this. Almost. Move 10 steps, cut. But when what will make you move? We call this the input statement, the event handler. Events, they handle events. So I say when the green flag happens, it's like when you press the microwave, or if you press kuni. Ukiweka kuni kwa jiko, chakula ive. Then touching mouse pointer. So we change that to Marian. If you touch Marian, cry. Make a sound. Sound meow. We change to meow. So let's see if they are going to touch each other. If they touch each other, what will happen? Oh, sorry, 100. I want you to move 100 steps. Oh, it needs to repeat. You have touched each other, but there is no sound. There is something we need to debug. So we need to tell this guy to move around. Go to forever move around. Okay. Just say, no, let's remove this. Let's say start sound or meow. The other thing we can do is we can tell this guy to move random. The cat is not moving. There you go. They are touching each other. But notice, I can stop with the red button there, and I can check them. Where is Marian playing with the cat? Because that's our pet. They are doing it in their bedroom. And then we can delay the cat to stop moving very fast. We go to control. We want to control the cat and show you click the cat. To delay. To delay before it moves again. But cats don't make moo, they make meow. Every time they touch each other. Until they are able to play. And this is the experience you want to give the children before they can come up with their own games. I want to stop at that. This is the experience you can give the children. Where do you get those resources? I have, together with our team, worked very hard to put together the resources for you so that you can access them. So this is just where I was just talking about for Africa Code Week. We have put the resources for you so that you can actually go straight to them and you can actually use them for your activities. So you move around like I've done, and then the children are able to come up with their own projects. My computer is hanging again. The resources are on that team, so I will encourage that Mr. James facilitates you guys to join the team, and then you can find the Africa Code Week team, which is ready for you guys to plug in, participate. Now, a simple quiz for us. Are you ready for the quiz, guys? Before I receive some questions. What will this code do? Anybody who can tell us? When green flag is clicked, repeat 10 times. What is it repeating? 10 steps, wait 1 second, then play sound. Anybody wants to try this one? Wait, I can see someone raising their hand. What will this code do? Someone just speak, please.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Dixon Karaja from Nyeri County.
Thank you, Dixon.
I think depending with the sprite that you'll have used, whether it's a cat or okay, whichever sprite you'll have used, when the green flag is clicked, the sprite will move 10 steps. I guess it will move forward. Okay, 10 steps. Then it will wait for a few seconds, one second, and then it will repeat that 10 times and then play the sound meow until done. I think those are the blocks we have.
Thank you very much. Very clear. Very, very clear. So you should, we should be able to test our children's capability. It will be able to do that. So the children should actually be able to, you know, predict what will happen, because part of the programming is to be able to predict what's happening. Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Miss Caroline, you wanted to say something? Okay. So you have other blocks here which you can actually use to challenge the children. So it says go to, glide, change size, what, all these blocks. Depending on the color, you should be able to tell where these blocks are found. Like the blue ones, that is motion. The purple ones, that is looks. Change size, that is looks, we're changing the looks. Control, on repeat, wait, and then there is when sprite clicks, that is on events and such like things. Play sound meow is from sounds. You know, we can actually go through these resources together. I'm giving you this because I believe once you have access to this, your work will be very simple. I realized over the last 4 years, since 2016, when we were doing the Africa Code Week with Nyandarua County, that many people do not know where to go, and there are so many resources that are out there. So it will be important for us to craft something that is going to be of help to the teachers and the children that we serve. So then you have access to this. I'll be organizing for Mr. James to give you access. So when you go to Teams, you need to go to the team called, okay, you get the team called the Africa Code Week. I'm trying to get it. And then from there, it will give you access to the resources. You go to File, and if there is no such a way, then we'll have to find a way to give them in a link, either a Google Drive or OneDrive link that can give you access to this. I'm just waiting for this to close. But with that, I think that is what I needed to share with you, leaders. By the end of the session, you should have understood what coding is. You should have understood that you can actually use what we are calling the Blockly games as an introduction to block coding. And then from there, you should have an understanding of Scratch. We do not want to end at that. We want to move to big things like animating words, Scratch challenges, bringing music to Scratch, doing art with Scratch. You know, those people who are teaching CBC are so lucky to use Scratch. You know, choosing a project that you can do. And this is the simplest course that we put together, which you're going to be giving you certificates for once you've completed, you know, you've done something with your children for this. Now, with that, what are the next steps? Number one, you will be needed to train children. You go through this, then you train children between now and November 15. Okay. Once you've trained students from now, that is 18th, to November 15th, you will be required to fill in a registration document. Let me try to see if I can get it. That shows that your children participated in that. And then each and every child that you've listed, they will get their certificates for the work they have done. So between now and November, that's the timeline. You will be able to, the students will get certificates after filling in the document which I'll share with you. We'll process from SAP and we'll be able to support you with the certificate for every child. And of course, you as the teacher. Number 3, you are also encouraged. While the students are having a good moment when they are doing the projects, you take a photo. Chances are that you do not want to take the faces of the children. Sometimes it happens, but that's not allowed. Most importantly, take the code. You know, take the code you know, called what? The work they are doing. Show the work that they are doing and how happy they are. You can also do some sound recordings. So in terms of video and recordings, they say how they enjoyed the activity, and that way they will be given their certificate. So you need to get maybe 2 or 3 students doing that, or 4, and so forth. We look at teachers around teachers to train around 30 students, but if you're not able to meet that, that is okay. You teach the one that you can, even if it's your own children, and take photos of their work and share with us. Of course, I'll show you or share with us through James where to upload that work in time. But what is in for me? One, as a teacher, as you try to do all these things, you're gaining skills that many teachers will need in the next 2 to 3 years. You are going ahead of the time. And Mr. Dixon, you can confirm that with me based on the awards that you've won, based on your exposure and your teacher of those specific subjects that you teach. You know, number 2, you also get to earn recognition from Africa Code Week as a teacher among the 39,000 that, like in 2019, what happened? So you get a certificate which can actually be recognized when it comes to things to do with CBC and other things. You might ask me, but TSC does not recognize that. No, it's a matter of time. And then the TSC will actually appreciate those people who are champions in certain things. Then you can actually present your certificate for 2021, 2022 going forward. And number 3, when you do all this work, we have been requested to also support you with the airtime that you're going to use and data. So we'll be sending you a stipend. And that's why we were asking, if it's possible, ensure you register. You register your name so that we can send you those stuff at the end of the course, the activity. So the first thing was to attend the training, understand the timelines, understand what you're required to do, get access to the content which you're going to share with you, and you can share with other teachers. By the way, even if the teachers have not attended the session, it's still okay. We can give them an opportunity to attend another session in another forum from your region. Tell them what is supposed to be done, and then let them come for the training. But then in the course of the time, they can also get the support like I've mentioned. Up to that point, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of us. We will be sharing those documents in that WhatsApp group that we formed for the teachers, and as fellows will be supporting us. Any questions at the moment? Mr. Peter, your hand is up. Peter Gishohi. Aha, okay. Anybody with a question, please always feel free to ask. At STEAMLabs, we are very free to educate us and to one another, because I am also a teacher in Iroiro. So I'm in Central, by the way. George, yes, George.
Yes, Felix.
Yes, sir.
I might be having a training next week, but
Yes.
it is class.
Yes.
I hope will the teachers be eligible for support? Because I'm going to train the whole zone together. They want to learn about how to do about Scratch and to do about word processor. So I was thinking that I can bring them on board for my whole zone.
Mr. George, that is incredible. And Dixon is here, is going to say something, but I'm telling you, if each and every one of you can go and do something like we are saying, I'm telling you, the whole country will change. And we continue to, to do it. A few years ago, our economy was not at the top like right now. And I'm telling you, as you do that, you're changing the life of your child and those of others. So, Mr. George, go ahead. Please do contact me also so that I can connect with you and support you where possible. Let me know how I can. I don't know if you are in that group, Mr. George.
Yes, I am.
So let's connect. Tell me when, I don't know your number now, but we can connect and see how I can support you.
I'm Kiambu Muranga. Maybe you know me, Kiambu Muranga.
Sorry?
Maybe you know me by Kiambu Muranga.
Ah, I know Kiambu now. I didn't know it's George. Your other name is George. Thank you.
Yeah, that is my Gmail, my email account. State me George Jerry.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you very much. So we will support you where we can. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me go to Mr. Dixon. Dixon? Dixon, your mic is off. Okay. As Mr. Dixon gets that.
Okay.
Captain.
Yes, Captain is here. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for a good presentation.
Thank you.
I wish you could have given George time to tell us when he is holding that training so that we can also join.
Right. Mr. George, do you want to respond to that, or can we discuss in the group and then we communicate together?
Yeah, the planning will be done tomorrow by the head teachers in my zone so that they can be able to confirm for me the day that I'm going to do it. So once the day is being communicated, I will communicate back to you so that can give me enough support.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Captain, stay. I hope, Captain, you're also in that group so that you can be supported.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Let's do this. Thank you.
Come.
All right, CC.
Okay, good evening and thank you for the good presentation. I hope you can hear me.
Very clear.
Okay, so I run a code club after school and I've just run it for one semester. And I've noticed a child who's done the whole of scratch, all those things, all those controls on the side, all those colors. And she has signed up again for the coding this semester that is coming up. So I'm wondering what's next for her. And
Okay.
she's in grade 5, around how many years? Maybe 10 or 11. And then also I have a challenge. I don't know how you deal with the challenge when you have a group. Mostly I do a group of 15. So you have a group and all of them are playing their tutorials. I have limited headphones, so sometimes it becomes quite noisy. I don't know. I really don't know how to go about it. Thank you.
Cecilia, where are you based? Which county?
I'm in Nairobi County.
Cecilia, what we do, we're running something called STEAMLabs around the country. One of our leaders is Dixon Ogweno. You might know Mr. Dixon. And what we will be doing, we will be supporting those clubs. And so we work with clubs that are existing like Code Club and others. And so what we can do to support you, first of all, is to give work that is already existing. I'll come back to year 5 student, but when it comes to tutorials, you can give you projects that are already been done. And so students don't have to even sometimes listen when you are challenges. And then those code blocks are put on certain levels. So when someone has finished this one, you can give another one. And so they are able to complete the tasks as they go. So you don't have to go to listening because sometimes it can be very destructive unless you want someone to, do their own thing. So that one, we can support you with the content. That is what we do. We'll contact you. I hope you're also in that group. Is it with the, are you in
I'm
the?
not in the group.
Okay, Cecilia, there is a training for Nairobi, by the way. It is going to be physical. It's going to be at American Spaces on Saturday. So we will be engaging you. Please do communicate with Mr. James. Okay, or maybe myself after this. Maybe I can share my number. And
Okay,
then
please.
let me share my number, then we can chat and see how we support you. Now, regarding the child who is in grade 5 and they are doing away with Scratch in the way they are doing things, we have other programs that we're going to be also with the one that we use for STEAMLabs. And what we'll be doing is we're going to be giving you now access to text-based programming. So it could be Python, it could be JavaScript, it could be others that are going to challenge your child so that they keep growing. I teach in Roiro, and I also have students who are like that. They are in class 4 and they are doing Python, and they want to do even JavaScript. They are asking me, when will I do Java and such like things. So we will give you support on that, including mobile app development content that we do at STEAMLabs Africa. So thank you very much, Cecilia.
Thank you too. I will really appreciate.
Thank you. Susan?
Okay, thank you, the trainer, for the training.
Yes.
I'm so glad that I have at least understood some about the coding and code. But now I would like really to join the WhatsApp group and the registration. I got the link from a friend, and I never knew about it, but now I can see that we are heading somewhere, and I will be very helpful. I'm a teacher in Nyandarua County. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The link to the group, Lawrence, can you do that please for Sue?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Please, you can just paste on the chat if you can. James can do that so that she can actually join the WhatsApp group, and also where possible for the registration link as well from Nyandarua. Then I have Esther.
Hello, I'm Esther. I'm from Muranga. I've just joined the meeting, and I also got the link from a friend. I'm not in the WhatsApp group, and I would like to get the contents and the notes.
Awesome. So Esther, we will be inviting you in that training with Mr. George Kinyanjui, and then also we will also give you the content. The WhatsApp group link should be placed on the chat. The leaders with me here can just share it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Then we have Mr. Captain, are you asking a question again?
No, maybe there was a mistake.
It's all right. Now, educators and fellow friends, if you are near Nairobi again, you will be welcome to come for a session at American Space on Saturday, if you are near Nairobi, that is. So I'm saying, if you can hear me, I'm saying that if you are in Nairobi, again, there will be a training at American Spaces, and we'll be able to train more teachers in the morning, in the late morning, and in the afternoon. We'll be communicating those details on the WhatsApp groups. Mr. James Zioka.
Yes, is there a data allowance for today's session?
It will come together, as I mentioned.
Okay.
Yes, we will facilitate you, my brother. All right. Another question from any quarters? All right, then. I think it's a good time. I want to appreciate once again everyone. Editor?
Yes, Felix, I'm this side of Kitui.
Yes.
I'm wondering whether you have any plans to facilitate us in face-to-face.
It's the time is so short. We were supposed to start July, but they delayed because of the Africa Code Challenge, and that would have played a big role. We will see what we have to do, editor. But for Kitui County, and we were just able to do for Nairobi, and so, but I will see.
Okay.
All right. Francis? Okay, could be a mistake because your mic is off. Zioka, unless you're coming back. Thank you very much, everyone. It has been a pleasure talking to you, and we hope that this project is a success as we go together. If you get any challenge, please write in that group. If you have any challenge, please communicate. We'll be able to support you however we can. Again, we want to request that you invite more teachers in your communities to join the WhatsApp group, because we can support them from there. So when George says he needs to train teachers, we would hope that those teachers will be able to join that group, actually also move together and support them. So Mr. George, we are with you, we are supporting you, and we are rocking for each and every one of you until we get to a point where we can actually support one another.